We'll start with English questions. Start right here in the front. Tony?
Thank you for your time, Mikey. How could you categorize today's performance, both in the first half and the second half? And then tactically, what were the changes closer to that 80th minute mark that you asked of your team?
I would say that the first 80 minutes were really good. I think we were really pretty much where we've been at when we've been at our best. And we weren't able to get a third goal, but we're up 2-0, and I think we're in complete control of the game. And the boys showed a really great step in the right direction to who we want to be. And then things get a little bit difficult for us around that 80th minute. Of course, there's a bunch of things that happen in this game that are outside of our control, that have to do with refereeing decisions, and we end up getting scored on. And then, of course, you have the situation with CJ having to come out, and we concede a goal late. And of course, we're gonna look in the mirror in terms of really pushing ourselves to be able to finish a little bit stronger. But I think the guys left everything out on the pitch. They played with a lot of heart, a lot of passion. I think we showed a lot of quality tonight. And the only change that happened tactically was we thought when Bombi had to come out, just because of the profiles of the players we have, we decided to go with 5 in the back to make sure that we could provide a little bit of assistance with the balls in behind. And overall, I think we did a pretty good job. But this is a brutal business, and we were a little bit. We got the wrong side of the razor thin margins in terms of winning the game. But what I would say, it's a really important step. We got a point. That's a very worthwhile point right now to get us building some momentum in the right direction against a very good team.
And obviously, with him being out, Aníbal has to step into that role. What can you tell me about the way that the team performed without Yepes first out and stepping up in those moments and keeping their shapes?
Yeah, we talked about it as an opportunity for players to step up, for Aníbal to step up in terms of putting a little bit of his stamp on the team from a leadership perspective. I think he did a great job. Also, some young players are going to get even more opportunity. So David getting a start, and I think he had a pretty good game. And Alejandro being able to get back in and starting to gain some minutes. And then ultimately, I think it's a great opportunity for the team to show this next man up mentality that we've been developing since day one. That will be a huge hallmark of the club for the long run. And I think we did a really good job of that.
Any more questions in English?
Hi, Mikey. What was the message to the club after everything was said and done? I know you mentioned a couple things here, but what was the overall message to the club going forward from you in that locker room, if you're able to share?
Yeah, I believe in every single one of those people in that room, and I believe in our fans tremendously, and I believe in our style of play, the effort that we're putting forward. And it feels like a loss because of how it unfolds at the end of the game, but it's not a loss. It's 1 point. It's 1 point where we haven't gained points in the last 5, and we gained a point against a very good team. And we played a lot of good football. And this is the closest we've been back to our getting back to our best. So the message is that now we have to build on this momentum and start stringing performances in ideally 90 plus minutes of those first 80 minutes together. Opportunity for guys to step up and really challenge themselves individually on how they can really help impact the result. And it's just about accumulating points in these last 4 games, because we will reset, reload, and we'll be really ready to attack the second half of the season. So right now, it's a very valuable point, and we're gonna keep making steps forward.
As coach, just what goes into keeping morale high and united in the dressing room during rough times like this?
I think that's a great question. Ultimately, if your culture is strong, it doesn't depend on one person. We all lift each other up, and the ambition we have is to have a culture where these are the moments it's built for. It's built for gaining resiliency. It's having the ability to be honestly self-reflective and put our hands up if we don't feel like it's good enough, and at the same time still believe that we have plenty of quality and that we can have a great game, a great season, great seasons. And so ultimately what I do is just remind them who we are, who we play for, why we're here.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Mikey. What does it mean for you guys going forward that some of the guys are starting to get healthier? Obviously, CJ was able to play tonight, and Luka was able to come back, and Docha got a little bit of time. So going forward, how does that impact you guys as far as kind of continuing to take out of this?
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, it gets us more minutes where we have our strongest lineup on the pitch for long periods of time. And I think when we have that, we're a team that can beat anybody. And ultimately, I think it still provides some opportunity for other guys to step up in the meantime while they're still building up full fitness, for example. So Homby wasn't able to go 90 today, but it continues to give opportunity to Saya Wilson, and so we'll take all of these learnings and we'll take all these experiences, but ultimately having your roster available for as many minutes as possible will really give us the best chance of having a strong season.
Any more questions in English? We'll go to Spanish. Any Spanish questions?
Hola, buenas noches. Primero que nada, para el equipo de San Diego, como mencionas de la identidad y la estructura que tienes, que le recuerdas que es San Diego, ¿qué tan fácil es para los jugadores dejar de ir? Es un empate, una victoria, una derrota para enfocarse en los siguientes partidos.
Es muy difícil porque este juego es muy emocional y el ganar, el perder, el sentir como perdiste porque te empatan en el último segundo, siempre duele. Y tiene que doler porque somos gente que compite al máximo siempre y siempre damos todo. Pero yo creo que con las horas ese dolor empieza a minimizar un poquito y tú puedes dejar el emocional y analizar un poquito más profundo el juego y ver que hemos hecho un gran paso para frente y tenemos que seguir en marcha, nada más.
¿Otra pregunta?
Y, perdón, si me permiten hacer una segunda, justamente en los últimos minutos del partido cambió el resultado y justamente me tocó ver en el minuto 85 aproximadamente Dreyer estaba diciendo a su equipo, vamos a presionar, y ahora me tocó ver en el mismo momento mientras estaba pasando eso, Godoy está diciendo, vámonos para atrás. Tú de fuera del sideline, ¿cómo puedes dar un mensaje tan claro a los jugadores para que entiendan qué es la versión que quieres de ellos en esos momentos?
Ya, yo creo que estas cosas pasan a veces cuando el partido se descontroló un poquito, y alguien y el que está arriba quiere controlarlo un poquito mejor yendo para frente y el otro quiere pedir un poquito de calma y dar un par de jugadas un poquito más compacto atrás y después subir. Pero nosotros siempre tenemos intención para meter presión en el balón y yo creo que por mucho del partido, casi en todos los partidos, tú ves que los chicos están totalmente sincronizados en la misma página.
Gracias, Mikey.
Yeah, thank you. Gracias.